The ultimatum. The Valkyrian Empire had spent centuries perfecting the art of conquest. Their approach never varied. Arrive with overwhelming force, issue demands, and obliterate any resistance. For 300 years, no civilization had successfully resisted their expansion. The galaxy learned to recognize their distinctive warships, massive, crystalline structures that reflected starlight in prismatic patterns, beautiful and terrible. Earth had been alone since the collapse of the Galactic Alliance 5 years earlier. Once part of a network of allied worlds, humanity now found itself isolated, abandoned by former allies who chose to pledge fealty to the Valkyrians rather than face extinction. The alliance, meant to stand united against threats like the Valkyrians, had dissolved like morning dew under the heat of real danger. Admiral Marcus Reed stood before the United Earth Defense Council, his weathered face illuminated by the holographic display showing the Valkyrian armada approaching the outer edge of the solar system. 78 ships, each capable of reducing a continent to ash within hours. They'll reach Neptune's orbit in 3 days, Reed explained, his voice steady despite the tremor in his hands. Their ambassador has demanded our unconditional surrender by 800 tomorrow. After that, they begin their advance. Councillor Diaz, representative from the South American coalition, leaned forward. And our options? Limited, Reed admitted. Our entire fleet currently stands at 22 vessels. Most are defensive platforms designed to counter piracy and small-scale conflicts against the Valkyrians. He didn't need to finish the sentence. Then we surrender, said Councillor Zhao. We've all seen what happened to Proxima Centauri when they resisted. A heavy silence fell over the chamber. Everyone present had seen the footage. 3 billion lives extinguished in less than a day. A planet's crust cracked open like an egg. There is one alternative, said a voice from the back of the room. All heads turned toward Dr. Amara Okafor, director of the Quantum Propulsion Laboratory. Beside her stood Commander Ilara Chen, one of Earth's most decorated naval officers. The Singularity Project, Dr. Okafor continued. It's ready. Admiral Reed's expression darkened. The Singularity is an untested prototype. We don't even know if it can maintain structural integrity during a standard FTL jump, let alone stand against the Valkyrian fleet. It's more than a prototype. Commander Chen stepped forward. I've been working with Dr. Okafor's team for the past 2 years. The Singularity represents technology the Valkyrians have never encountered. One ship, Councillor Diaz said incredulously. You're suggesting we pin humanity's survival on one experimental vessel? I'm suggesting, Chen replied, her voice steady, that dying on our feet is preferable to living on our knees. Dr. Okafor activated a holographic display. The ship that appeared above the council table was unlike any in Earth's fleet, sleek, almost predatory in its design, with a hull that seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. The Singularity incorporates technology derived from the Quantum Horizon event, explained Okafor. Its capabilities exist in a theoretical space that even our most advanced simulations can't fully predict. But what we do know is that it operates on principles the Valkyrians won't understand. Admiral Reed studied the hologram. And you believe this lone vessel can change the outcome of an engagement with 78 Valkyrian warships? I believe, Chen said, that it's our only chance to avoid becoming another conquered world in the Valkyrian catalog, and I'm volunteering to command it. The council chamber erupted in argument. Over the din, Commander Chen caught Dr. Okafor's gaze. Both women knew what none of the politicians did, the true nature of the Singularity and what piloting it would demand of its commander. Hours later, the council reached a decision. The vote was close, but humanity had always been defined by its refusal to accept impossibilities. The Singularity would be deployed, with Commander Ilara Chen at its helm. The ship waited in Earth's orbital dockyard, a shadow against the stars. Unlike other vessels in the hangar, no inspection lights played across its surface. The special nanomaterial of its hull absorbed illumination, making it appear as a ship-shaped void. Commander Chen stood in the docking tube, saying goodbye to Dr. Okafor. "The neural interface is stable," Okafor said, checking the data on her tablet one final time. "But remember, the deeper you link with the ship's systems, the harder it will be to disengage. The simulations suggest." "I know what the simulations suggest," Chen interrupted gently. "That there's a point of no return. That I could lose myself." Okafor looked up, her eyes glistening. "There's no precedent for this level of human-machine integration. You'll be the first to experience it at full capacity." Chen smiled. "Someone has to be first. Better me than anyone else." "The Council believes you're being sent on a suicide mission," Okafor said quietly. "That at best, you'll buy Earth time to evacuate key personnel or negotiate better terms." "And what do you believe?" Okafor hesitated. "I believe the Valkyrians have never encountered anything like what you're about to become." The two women embraced, and then Chen turned toward the airlock. The interior of the Singularity was unlike any vessel she had commanded before. Instead of a traditional bridge, a single reclined chair sat in a spherical chamber, surrounded by interfaces that responded to thought rather than touch. As the ship detached from the dockyard, Chen initiated the neural link. Cold fire seemed to spread from the base of her skull, down her spine, and outward through her limbs. For a nauseating moment, she felt her consciousness stretching, expanding beyond the confines of her body. Then something extraordinary happened. She became aware of the ship as an extension of herself. She could feel the subtle radiation of nearby stars against the hull, as if it were sunlight on skin. The ship's sensors became new senses, its propulsion systems like additional limbs. Through external cameras, she watched Earth recede behind her, a blue marble suspended in darkness, home to everything humanity had ever known or built, everything worth defending. The Valkyrian ultimatum had been clear: surrender by morning or face extinction. Their fleet waited at the edge of the solar system, expecting either a formal capitulation or a futile last-ditch defense. What they weren't expecting was a single ship heading directly toward them at speeds no Earth vessel had ever achieved, piloted by a woman who was becoming something more with each passing second. As the Singularity accelerated to FTL speeds, Chen felt her consciousness further merging with the ship's systems. The quantum horizon technology that powered the vessel didn't just propel it through space, it bent reality around it, creating possibilities that shouldn't exist. "This is Commander Ilara Chen of the Earth vessel Singularity." She broadcast on all frequencies as she approached the Valkyrian fleet's position. "I carry humanity's response to your ultimatum." The silence that followed felt eternal. Then, a transmission from the Valkyrian flagship. "Earth vessel, you are outnumbered and outgunned. Your presence here changes nothing. Return to your planet and prepare for our arrival, or be destroyed now." Chen smiled, though there was no one to see it. "I'm afraid I can't do that. But I'm giving you one chance to withdraw your forces and recognize Earth's sovereignty. There doesn't need to be bloodshed today." The response was immediate. "Your bravery is noted, human, but misplaced. The Valkyrian Empire does not withdraw. Prepare to be boarded or destroyed." Chen closed her eyes, diving deeper into the Singularity systems, accessing capabilities that existed at the edge of theoretical physics. "I was hoping you'd say that," she replied. The Reckoning. The Valkyrian flagship Eternal Dominion hung at the center of the invasion fleet, its crystalline structure refracting distant starlight into kaleidoscopic patterns across its surface. Admiral Vextor stood on its command deck, his four eyes fixed on the tactical display where a single anomalous Earth vessel approached. "One ship," he rumbled, mandibles clicking in what passed for amusement among his species. "Is this their idea of a diplomatic convoy, or have they truly sent a lone vessel to oppose us?" His second-in-command, Sub-Commander Krell, studied the sensor readings with growing concern. "Admiral, our scans cannot penetrate its hull. We're detecting energy signatures unlike anything in our database." Vextor dismissed these concerns with a wave of his upper limb. irrelevant. No single vessel can stand against our armada, regardless of its composition. Prepare disintegration cannons. The Singularity continued its approach, moving with impossible grace. To the Valkyrians monitoring its trajectory, the human ship appeared to flicker occasionally, as if momentarily slipping out of reality itself. Commander Ilara Chen, now more integrated with her vessel than any human had ever been with a machine, sensed the targeting systems of 30 Valkyrian ships locking onto her position. Through the ship's enhanced sensors, she perceived reality differently, seeing not just the physical vessels, but the quantum probabilities surrounding them, the points where existence itself was malleable. The first Valkyrian shots fired, beams of concentrated energy that could vaporize conventional warships in seconds. Chen didn't try to evade. Instead, she willed the Singularity to shift. To the astonished Valkyrian gunners, their shots passed through empty space. The human vessel hadn't moved in any conventional sense. It had simply ceased to exist at that precise point in space-time, reappearing elsewhere as if the laws of physics were mere suggestions. Impossible, breathed Sub-Commander Krell. Nothing can move that quickly. It didn't move, replied the Valkyrian science officer, her voice trembling. According to our sensors, it existed in multiple locations simultaneously before resolving to a single point. Admiral Vextor's confidence faltered for the first time. Launch interceptors. I want the ship surrounded and destroyed. Squadrons of smaller Valkyrian vessels detached from the main fleet, their crystalline hulls sparkling as they accelerated toward the Singularity. Chen watched them approach, feeling a strange calm. The neural interface let her process information at inhuman speeds, seeing patterns and possibilities that would be invisible to normal perception. As the interceptors closed in, Chen activated the Singularity's primary offensive capability. There was no beam, no missile, no visible weapon discharge at all. Instead, the quantum field surrounding her ship expanded, intersecting with the approaching Valkyrian vessels. Where it touched, reality reconfigured. 3 interceptors simply unraveled, their atomic structures disassembling and reorganizing into clouds of inert particles. 2 more shifted partially out of phase with normal space, their crews trapped in a state of temporal flux. Not dead, but experiencing time at such a drastically reduced rate that they might as well be frozen. On the Eternal Dominion's bridge, alarms blared as sensor data flooded in. Admiral, Krell's voice cracked. We've lost 5 interceptors. The rest are falling back. Whatever this weapon is, our shields offer no defense. Vextor stared at the tactical display in disbelief. His species had conquered hundreds of worlds across 3 galactic arms. Their technology was supposed to be unmatched, their strategies perfected through centuries of successful conquest. All vessels, concentrate fire, he commanded, his pride overwhelming his growing fear. Nothing can withstand the combined power of our fleet. 70 Valkyrian warships oriented toward the Singularity, their weapon systems charging in unison. The energy buildup was so massive that it distorted local space, creating a visible ripple effect around the fleet. Inside the Singularity, Chen perceived this gathering storm not as a threat, but as an opportunity. The quantum technologies that powered her vessel didn't just defend against attacks. They could absorb energy, redirecting it through higher dimensions before returning it to normal space. As the Valkyrian fleet fired, the darkness of space lit up with enough destructive power to shatter a small moon. The energy surge engulfed the Singularity completely, obscuring it from view. For a moment, silence fell over the Valkyrian command bridge. Then, slowly, the energy dissipated, revealing the human vessel, completely unharmed. Before the Valkyrians could react, Chen redirected the absorbed energy, amplified by the Singularity's quantum core, not as a weapon of destruction, but as a reality-altering wave that swept through the Valkyrian fleet. Ships didn't explode or disintegrate. Instead, their propulsion systems, weapons, and communication arrays simply ceased to function. the complex technologies reduced to their component elements, as if they had never been assembled. The mighty Valkyrian armada, terror of 1,000 worlds, drifted powerless in the void, their crystalline hulls now dark and lifeless. On the Eternal Dominion, emergency systems kept life support functioning, but nothing else responded. Admiral Vextor stared at the blackened displays, his 4 eyes wide with incomprehension. What are they?" he whispered. The Singularity approached the flagship, positioning itself directly before its forward observation port. Chen established a direct communication link to the Valkyrian command deck. "This is Commander Ilara Chen of Earth," her voice echoed through the darkened bridge. "As you can see, we are not defenseless. We didn't want this conflict. We still don't." She paused, feeling the ship's systems as extensions of her own nervous system. The neural interface had progressed far beyond the original parameters, bringing her to a level of integration that blurred the line between human and machine. "Your fleet is disabled, not destroyed," she continued. "Your life support systems will continue functioning. You have enough emergency power for your crews to survive until help arrives. We could have annihilated you, but that's not who we are." Admiral Vextor approached the viewport, seeing the impossible human vessel hovering like a patch of deeper darkness against the stars. "Why?" he asked simply. "Why spare us?" "Because conquest isn't our way," Chen replied. "Earth wishes to exist in peace, to trade and exchange knowledge with other species, even yours, if you're willing. But we will not be subjugated." Through the Singularity sensors, Chen could perceive the mixture of fear, confusion, and dawning respect in the Valkyrian admiral's biosignature. "The Valkyrian Empire has never encountered technology like yours," Vextor admitted. "My report will reflect this unprecedented development." "Good," Chen said. "When you return home, take this message to your leaders. Earth stands ready for friendship or war. The choice is yours, but know that we are no longer the isolated world you thought we were." As the Singularity turned away from the disabled fleet, Chen felt a profound shift within herself. The neural interface had transformed her, granting her perception beyond normal human experience. She wasn't sure if she could ever fully return to her former self, or if she would want to. Earth received the news with shocked disbelief. A single ship had faced the most feared armada in known space and emerged victorious without firing a conventional shot. As footage from the encounter spread, humanity's understanding of its place in the galaxy fundamentally changed. 3 months later, a Valkyrian diplomatic vessel, unarmed and alone, entered Earth orbit with a request for formal talks. The empire that had never negotiated now sought understanding. Dr. Okafor found Commander Chen, or what Chen had become, in the Singularity's docking bay. The ship remained linked to her consciousness, even when she walked in human form through Earth's halls and corridors. "They're saying you've changed the balance of power in the galaxy overnight," Okafor said. "The Valkyrians are withdrawing from 3 recently conquered systems as a gesture of mutual respect." Chen smiled, her eyes reflecting more than they once had. "Not just Earth has changed. I've received transmissions from former Alliance worlds. They're beginning to question their submissions to the Valkyrians." "And you?" Okafor asked carefully. "The neural integration has progressed beyond our projections. Are you still you?" Chen looked down at her hands, then up at the stars visible through the docking bay's transparent ceiling. "I'm more than I was. The Singularity showed me possibilities I never imagined. I'm still Ilara Chen, but I'm also something new, something that might help humanity navigate what's coming." "And what is coming?" Okafor asked. Chen's gaze seemed to extend beyond the visible universe. Change, challenge, opportunity. The Valkyrians were just the beginning. There are older powers stirring in the dark between galaxies, forces that make the Valkyrians look like children playing at conquest. She turned to her friend with a smile that held both warmth and something otherworldly. "But we'll be ready. Humanity has always adapted, always evolved to meet new challenges. And now we've shown the galaxy what a single human ship can do when pushed too far. Above them, the Singularity waited, its presence a promise and a warning to any who might threaten Earth in the future. Humanity would not bow, would not break, would not surrender. And sometimes, the most dangerous opponent isn't the one with the largest fleet, but the one with nothing left to lose and everything to protect.